Welcome to the SWG Invasions Guide if you're attacking as a trader. There's a couple things that you need to have before you begin, before you even get to the invasion. Make sure you've got the following. First off, you need about 5 generic crafting tools. I've got them all up here on my toolbar. That way I'm able to get to them really quickly. 5 is a good number. Then you also need to have a droid that has a generic crafting tool built into it. This is mine. Make sure you've got some batteries on hand in case they run out. This is pretty much all you need from a very basic perspective. If you bring this, you're good to go. There's a couple things that you should also have if you've got the time. An entertainer buff will do wonders, at least help you out a little bit, including the crafting assembly and amazing success chance. For both, that'll max out your entertainer buff. Having that will help. And if you have a full suit with your experimental points in there. For me, because I am a structures trader, I've got structure experimentation, but we're only focusing on artisan experimentation and assembly for this invasion. Anytime you're attacking, it all comes down to artisan. So it doesn't matter which trader you are, they all make the same tools. So if you can get your artisan experimentation up, your tools will be better. Now let's head over as the invasion is starting, and we'll go over what you need to get going. What you need to do first is head over to one of the camps, head over to the offensive Imperial Supply Terminal, and then you can go and click on I'm looking to help out. You've got two options, vehicle reinforcements and patrol reinforcements. With this invasion, you do not need to worry about being a specific type of trader. You are using your artisan assembly and experimentation in order to build tools. So you can click on those, grab your patrol and vehicle kits, and then you can build them like we have here. Without a smuggler, you're looking at getting about 8 power. That is the best you can do without a smuggler. And then, between 17 and 20 uses for those tools. Hand them out, give them to everybody that you can, and start the invasion. So the great thing about being a trader during the offense invasion is it doesn't matter which type of trader you are. You're using your artisan skills, so both the experimentation and assembly, to make your tools as good as possible. Now you can get up to your 8 power. That's the highest you can do with these tools if you've got 13 points, as I do, in experimentation. Sometimes you might get lucky and you can put a little bit into the experimental charges as well. Make it a little bit easier for people to be able to hold on to those tools, use them a little bit longer. Now the point is you can do both at the same time in terms of building physical tools and actually putting points into the pylons. You just click it and continue on with your crafting, so you can kind of do both and be able to help out at the same time. I know it is a little complicated and can be hectic if you're the only trader here. You got to be able to get those tools out to people as quickly as possible, and sometimes people don't quite understand that it actually takes time for you to build and it's not an instant process. So you want to get these tools up to 8 power and hand them out as much as you can. Now, since it doesn't matter which trader profession you are, it means you can build both the patrol points and vehicle construction. The siege vehicles use regular vehicle construction tools. There's no special tool for that, but there's only 2 per invasion. So if you need the collection, you might want to go and get that first. But for the most part, you're working on both of these at the same time, handing out the tools and getting things going so that you can essentially be as effective as possible as a trader. Essentially, that is it. You don't have much else to do as a trader during the building phase. It is to pass out tools, the 2 that are there, and to build as much as you can at the 3 different points there are around the map. Usually, if you've got a couple traders, you can get 2 whole sections built up with a pretty decent group, but ideally you want to have a number of people at each section, each camp, being able to work on your tools, and also entertainers to heal fatigue. Always keep an eye on your tool levels. You don't want to run out while you're building and somebody come up to you and ask, and you have to build them quickly. So in an invasion like this, especially if you're on your own, making about 30 of each, both the patrol and vehicle, is a good idea. And most people just kind of come up to you, you assume that they want a tool, so you're going to give them a whole bunch, get rid of it, and then that way you get the points for, you get the credit, and they're doing their thing. So make sure you have enough tools handy, and make sure you have more than you need when it comes to the vehicles, because we're going to be talking about that in the next section of this. As we start the combat phase, you'll want to make sure you've got a bunch of vehicle construction tools on you so that you can do the next part of this. Now we are in the combat phase. This is still an important but not as critical role for traders. You are repairing vehicles. Again, since there is no specialization based on your chosen career path, you're using your tools, and if you've built enough of them, you should have enough left over. You only need to use your vehicle tools, so don't worry about any patrol tools. You could delete them if you wanted to. Now, each mission requires you to select a vehicle that has been damaged. In this case, we're using this Imperial Damaged Vehicle, an ATST. You radial it and click Use. The first time we'll pick up the mission. You have to do it 4 times in order to complete the mission, and subsequently also the vehicle will be fully repaired by then. Each of the 3 staging areas has a number of vehicles lying around that you can repair. Up here at the waterfall, as it's considered in Kirin, we've got 3. 1 over there at the bottom, and then 2 up here on the top. You've got about 3 over at the spaceport and 3 over at what's considered the bridge, but then there are also some within the city limits further in that you can repair. Now, what happens if this vehicle is destroyed? Well, this comes back, so you should keep an eye out. If you've got a number of traders, maybe work out between yourselves which areas you're going to cover to see where these vehicles show up, and then that way you can continuously repair them even if they've been destroyed, giving your team slightly better advantage. More vehicles means a lot more power, and these will always spawn as combat level 90 boss mobs, so you've got some good extra firepower for your friends who are working on the combat side of things. Essentially, that's it. It's very simple as a trader for the offense. It's easy to get these things built up, even with just 2 or 3 traders handing out tools. It's one of the reasons why we push so much to get people out to an invasion like this. Even though we are on the attacking side and we might not win, you can still get a lot of GCW and a lot of tokens, as you can see here, to be able to build and do your missions as a trader. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, and I will do my best to get back to you and answer anything that you might have so that you can be better equipped to work on these invasions while you're playing Star Wars Galaxies.